I'd like to speak with some of your clients before I move forward. When you hear this, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, this deal is going to close. As soon as they speak to my clients, it's a done deal. Problem is, oftentimes people will say this just to get away from you. It's a perfectly natural reaction because of the negative experiences we've had with salespeople trying to move faster than we're ready to move. And so prospects will say things like this as a way to just move away from you. When you were little, your parents used to tell you what to do all the time, right? Hey, go clean your room. And you would do it, right? There was a parent to child relationship. But that relationship is not healthy in sales. We need to have an adult to adult conversation in sales. And the way to do that is to understand if the prospect really wants to speak with our clients to move forward, or they're just saying this as a polite way to get us off the phone. So what I want to walk you through is a framework that can help you not overcome the objection, but to understand the objection. So let's actually get to it. Step number one is to pause. Just don't say anything for a couple seconds. Here's what that sounds like. In fact, try this outside of work. The next time someone is speaking with you, just give them a couple beats after they're done talking, and you'll see that most of the time, they'll keep talking and give you some more information. Step number two is we want to use what I call a diffusing statement. These are statements that you can just commit to a memory that will just slow down your natural instinct to go into arm wrestling mode. So by way of example, of course, my clients are better salespeople than I am. That's trying to use a little humor to diffuse the situation. These are things you can commit to memory. That's not a problem. That's another one. I'd be happy to. Sure thing. Absolutely. So these are diffusers that you can commit to memory that'll just roll right off the top of your tongue whenever you hear an objection, just to slow you down a little bit. The prospect is expecting you to perhaps just give them the references, or maybe even to convince them of otherwise. They're not used to you just leaning back and using a diffuser. So automatically it's going to create an environment that's going to start to open up a dialogue. Step number three is let's encourage. Let's get them talking a little bit more to understand, right? How many would you like? They may say 3 or 4. You might say that's perfectly reasonable. And then we're going to use the golden lasso question. And this is a great question that'll actually help you have an adult to adult conversation with someone and understand the truth. Is it really the references that are preventing them from moving forward, or is it something else? So you might say something like this. Just out of curiosity, let's say you speak with my clients this morning and you like what you hear. Would you be ready to move forward today? Or if you have a longer sales cycle, you could say within the next 30 days or this quarter. And what you'll hear most of the time when you ask the golden lasso question is, well, actually, I need to talk to my boss. I need to do X. I need to do Y. I need to do Z. And meanwhile, we're busy sending references. This is what you'll hear. Need a few weeks, need to talk to my boss, be ready after our new VP of sales joins. Actually, our CFO needs to weigh in. This is really what's going on. Again, the clients are being used as just a smokescreen. So if they said, hey, I need to talk to my boss, you might respond by saying something like this. That's okay. But let's say your boss said it was up to you. What would you say? Again, we want to see if the prospect is bought into what we're selling. Do they like what we're selling, or are there some other issues? They might then say, you know what, I do like it, but I do need to speak to my boss because it's a big decision. You can reply by saying, sounds like we should hold off on the referrals because you need time to chat with your boss and decide if this is even something he or she wants to move forward with, which is perfectly okay. Would it make sense to carve out some time after you've had an opportunity to chat with her, maybe next Thursday? Now look at this language. We are using the word because to justify why we are asking the question. There was an interesting study done a while back where people were in line at the printer and someone was trying to cut in line saying, hey, I need to get to the front. And they tested that with someone saying, I need to get in front because I'm in a rush to get to this meeting. And by just using the word because, it was much more persuasive. The other thing we're looking at here is, would it make sense? Notice what we're not doing. We're not dictating. We're putting the prospect in control. And when people feel like they're in control, they're more open to telling us the truth. When people feel their freedom is being taken away, when we're dictating and we're trying to move things faster than they are, they'll be more guarded. It's like saying, don't touch the wet paint. It's the first thing you want to do. We can go anywhere you want, but sushi. Your freedom's being taken away. It feels bad. So that's the language and phraseology. Again, aimed at getting to the truth. If we didn't go through this framework, we might have sent prospects to our references thinking that the deal would close rather than determining what was really on their mind. So that's the framework. Pause, diffuse, encourage, golden lasso, and respond.